Okay, this is it's May 2021. It's last week in May, uh, early evening, and it's raining out. We've been under, I don't want to call it state of emergency, but highly regulated due to a compelling public interest. COVID 19, the social distancing. Just as a review, um, early in January of last year, 2020, the COVID was detected, coming after a backdrop of several viruses um, attacking the general population. And enter COVID 19. Myself personally, I didn't notice it until Italy had was on lockdown, because it was coming up on March. I'm the kind of person, I I took a lot of pride in trying to keep up on the so-called, spiritual issues. I took a lot of pride in that, even though I was really kind of lacking, because you have to do works. Observing is one thing, but really going out there in the trenches and helping, a person is something totally different. Helping a homeless, helping a person who doesn't have enough food, doesn't have shelter, or drug addiction, a pregnant mother thinking about abortion, or a woman that's a lonely old woman, those types of things, or somebody that's being hurt. Those types of works. But in any event, I did observe different things, and invariably I would just I thought when I would observe, I would know when the Easter was coming about, or Passover or Ramadan. And I'm not going to tell you what my inclinations or what I was leaning toward, but that's basically the type of person that I was. So when Italy locked down, I noticed, and that was in March. And so the government officials immediately started, falling into place, trying to rise to the occasion to handle this new threat. And just as a person in the population, I noticed that the lack of information is the only thing that really struck me as odd. It was just basically an unknown territory, because we had not been in a situation like that since the Spanish flu. And that's like 100 years ago. We haven't had a situation like this since the Spanish flu, and that's been over 100 years. So no one really had any type of like track record for this. Nobody knew what. No, people really, literally didn't know what to do, and as a result, except that people were hurt. And when I really give people, I give the people who were responsible a lot of credit, because when they saw that people were dying, when they saw that the numbers were just really, really high, that's what really alarmed people. And Governor Cuomo, he was like one of the people that just took the public stage. And I don't know if he's running for president or something like that, but as a politician, he just ran with the ball. I mean, he was like right there in front of the media all of the time, giving out information. And I have to give credit where credit is due, because because um, I personally listened to that, and it helped me immensely, in the sense that you don't get those types of numbers and not take them seriously. And so I saw how they, with the, with their briefings, I saw how they tried to isolate what the problem was, where it was coming from, and they started noticing that it was hurting certain segments of the population. And it really, to a certain degree, it didn't matter what segment of the population it was hurting. They just wanted to get a remedy, a vaccine. And so we did that for an entire year. From January, which is an extraordinary amount of time to tell someone to to give somebody a cease and desist order from everything that you're doing in life, until this virus is isolated. And basically, we're still under that. And I don't really, and that's the only reason why I'm making this little snippet, is because it's been a year, and so it's been a year and a half, bottom line. And to watch the whole process, and then, everybody having their, fingers crossed, or their prayers, all their little home remedies, trying to, until a vaccine became available. And then it became available, and they had hoped that they would disseminate it quickly, but they really didn't. Oof. So here it is. What do they say? Here it is. A year and a half later, and there's more hope than it has been in a very long time. We only have 300 million people in this country, and 150 million of them have been vaccinated with one dose. And so that in 30 days, they'll get the other dose. And everybody is taking a sigh of relief. But it's really, a big sigh of relief. So, but that still leaves half of the country not immunized. But it's enough for people, but they said the cases are so drastically low, the numbers, the statistics are not lying. They went from 250,000 cases a day to 25,000 cases. And so things are opening up. But not at full capacity, limited. Even though that they have said that, you can take masks. It's a whole lot of things that they told the public to do. And they are lifting some of those requirements. And so everybody is like a sigh of relief. But with that sigh of relief, it's still some risk there. But in any event, it's been an entire year and a half. And it's not over. It's still going to be slow going. So, and that's just in one country. And now America's looking around and looking at the other countries to see, because this is where this is where, for me, the ethical question comes into play. And that it's not just, and in this country, you can speak out. Women, men, child, whoever old enough, it's not just about America becoming immunized. What about the entire world? And so locally, she's been okay nationally, but on the international level, the world is really, really struggling. So I could see, so from an ethical standpoint, I don't know how to feel about it. I have a headache. I don't feel well, and I feel depressed. That's how I feel. I really do. I feel, because they're saying that some countries are nowhere near getting vaccinated. Some countries have been harder hit. And she's asking herself, what good is it for us to be immunized if the rest of the world is not immunized? And that's really sad. That's kind of sad. It says a lot. and life is still going on. You got a lot of things that has been happening in the interim, but it's been a year and a half of not knowing. But that's why it's so important to concentrate on what's good and pure and true. You know, that's why it's important, so that we can come out of this, through the right path. We'll find our path out of this, and I think it can be done. But when you think of how far we've come, that's when it gets scary. But in any event,